Gagne. Gagne for Leno. Leno to Richards. Richards' shot redirected. Gagne shot. He scores! Simone Gagne! Can you believe it? Power play goal, and the Flyers all the way back now lead this thing 4-3.
Hey, how could you forget it? That was Simone Gagne's game winner, but getting to Game 7 was as improbable as it comes. Getting down 3-0 in the series is still, in most cases, an insurmountable mountain to climb. But 15 years ago today, the Flyers made believers out of all of us. And after forcing a Game 7 in Boston, Peter Laviolette's bunch faced another seemingly impossible deficit on their long road to a history-making comeback. Ashlyn Sullivan has more in our latest Flyers flashback, brought to you by GMC. GMC is proud to support the Flyers Alumni Charity Classic Weekend, June 21st through 23rd.
These circumstances can bring out the best in people. You know, they can do that.
You know, we can't change because we're down 3-0. We've got to continue to stick with the program, play the way we know how, and worry about Game 4, and, you know, can't look past that next game.
After we got down 3-0, we were playing some really, really good hockey, and we're like, we can't lose like this.
Most of the time, the mood, the feeling will be like it's pretty much over. But going down in the locker room, I remember, like, see the guys, like, pumped up, be positive that, hey, we should not be, like, 0-3 right now.
It's been 15 years since the Flyers made history, overcoming a 3-0 deficit against the rival Bruins.
Until you don't force Game 7, it's hard to say, oh, we're right there and we're going to make history. And even Game 7, if you remember, we were down 3-0 in the first 8 minutes left.
Like any historical accomplishment, the turning point of this series came well before Game 7.
Krejci, look out! Richards lowers the boom on him.
Probably one of the biggest plays of that series was the hit on David Krejci. Mike Richards took him out of the series, broke his wrist, and he was dominating us on faceoffs, some penalty kills, things like that. So you remove one of their top guys there, you know, on a clean body check, open ice check, you know, and then you get Gags back in the lineup.
Krejci was a big part of the Boston Bruins, and he broke his, I think it was his wrist or his arm. So that's a big part that they were losing on their side, and me coming in, I was at that time a big part of the team, so that gave us a boost.
David Krejci's absence left a huge void for Boston, but there was still plenty of work to be done.
Mike Richards spins it, late guy caught walking in. What more can you do? He scores! The Flyers survive and force Game 5. The Flyers blank Boston 4-0, and now it is 3-2. Make your plans for Friday. There will be a Game 7 in Boston.
After forcing Game 7, Peter Laviolette's team would have its will tested yet again.
Lucic through the puck. Lucic holds the shot. He scores! It's 3-0 Boston. All Bruins here in the first.
But then
Lavi called his epic timeout and got everyone refocused, and you know, was able to make that comeback.
Lavi called that great timeout that everybody's talking about, and yes, he was a great timeout that helped us to relax and focusing on one thing at the time, like we did in the whole series against Boston, to come back to that point.
He was such a good motivator, Peter Laviolette was, and he looked at Lates and he said, Lates, not another goal, not another goal. Then he said, we just need one this period, you know, get ourselves on the board, get going, and JVR got one off a broken stick and slid through Tuukka's legs there.
And the rest was history.
There's their centering for Leno, backhander save, rebound, Hartnell, he scores! They are back!
Kind of like a storybook, right? You can't script that any better. You're down 3-0 in the series. You ended up tying up, and if we had to win that game, obviously we would have had to score 3 goals. And JVR had his in the end of the first. You know, I had mine just kind of going to the net, and was able to get upstairs on a rebound, and then Danny B doing sneaky Danny B things, right? The old wraparound, and you know, barely crossed the line, but you know, that just gave us you know, all the momentum.
And when the Flyers needed it most, Simone Gagne, no stranger to big moments, delivered one of his biggest.
Richards' shot redirected, Gagne shot, he scores! Simone Gagne! Can you believe it?
a goal in the playoffs, it's special. Every time you score one in overtime, it's even more special. But the one was done in overtime, but almost felt like it was overtime because it was give us the go-ahead goal, you know, and end up to be the winning goal that game. You know, it's 15 years, so he's always popped up somewhere on my phone, you know, on Instagram or Facebook, on TikTok or whatever. So that group was really, really special that year. So definitely that goal is definitely at top of my list in my career in general, but especially with the Flyers.
This improbable